We have the first 10 blocks done already. Are you ready to work on the last row for Sweetest Pie? Hey everyone, Cristin here, and we are continuing with our Sweetest Pie bench pillow. So we are going to start on the third row today. I'm going to jump around a little bit now because there's some blocks that we can fit into one hooping and some that we can't. So I'm just going to jump around a little bit. So we're going to start with the 4 square block. So the 4 square block, we're going to do the same way as we did the 6 square block. So on this one, very simply, we have 2 pieces of fabric. It's the little arrows, the creamy arrows, and the orange star fabric. And both of these, we are going to start with that 5.5 by 2.5. I did back mine with fusible stabilizer, 5.5 by 2.5 for both of these. And then I have batting and I cut it to 5 by 5 for our quilting of this one. So 5 by 5 for the batting. And we are going to be able to do this in all the little bitty blocks like we did for the 6 square one. So I'll show you on the computer how we're going to do that. It's a very easy way. If you don't have embroidery software, or you want to do it with your clear blue tiles, you absolutely can do it with your clear blue tiles. And anyway, let's go ahead and get started. This is a nice simple one. All right, the next one for today is the ingredients block. So this one has a lot of parts to it, but it's not a very big block. So I'm going to merge them together with a couple other blocks so that we can do them all together and save on stabilizer, save on some time. So for this one, at the end, there is cinnamon sticks, and I put that in my embellishment kit because we're not going to do that until the very end. But all the other parts, let's go ahead and talk about what we need for the ingredients block. So we are going to start with our main fabric, which is this really pretty brown silky solid. Got a little piece of something on there. There we go. All right, so silky solid. I did back it with fusible stabilizer, and this one we're going to start with at 8.5 by 6.5. 8.5 by 6.5 for our main fabric for the ingredients block. And then we have the flower. So for the flower, it is a tan, almost like a taupe color. It's a taupe color, that's what I would call it. Taupe color of silky solid, and this is going to be 3 by 4. I did back mine with fusible stabilizer, 3 by 4, and this is for the flower block on the ingredients, the flower applique on the ingredients block. And then we have the measuring cup. The measuring cup is white with white dots on it. I did back it with fusible stabilizer, but it's hard to see, but white with white dots on it. And we're going to start with this one at 3.5 by 2.5. So this way, 3.5 by 2.5, and that's for the measuring cup. And then for the liquid inside of the measuring cup, that's going to be so cute. So it's a light blue, minty blue, silky solid. Might be able to see it a little better that way. And it is going to be 2.5 by 2. I did back mine with fusible stabilizer. It's 2.5 by 2. And then we have the clear vinyl. So this is not iron-on vinyl. It's different. It's just clear vinyl. I think it's called Sweetest Candy clear vinyl, if I recall. So this one, hopefully you can see that. We are going to start with this at 3.5 by 3. So this way, 3.5 by 3 for the clear vinyl for the measure. It's on top of the measuring cup. And then we have the eggs. So the eggs are going to be on white leather. Don't back leather with anything. Leave it as is. Plain white leather. And this one is going to be 3 by 2.5 for the eggs. 3 by 2.5. All right, and then we have twine. So it comes in this cute little package. It's in our embellishment kit, and it's a 15-inch piece, I believe, or at least we need a 15-inch piece. There's also a couple of other things in there, but anyway, we'll go over this part when we get to it. But you will need the twine now. I initially had it in my embellishments pack, and then I read the directions, and we do need it now. So grab your twine. And then we are going to quilt this. So our Final cut size is 6.5 by 4.5, so that means that we want a piece of batting that is 7 by 5. 7 by 5 for your batting. And then our quilting is going to be that cute weave 1. We're going to use weave 1 in 4 by 6 for this one. And there's, if I recall, yeah, we're going to have to change our bobbin thread a couple of times to match our top thread. And we'll have to be careful with the twine. So a few notes, but I'll go over all of that as we get there. So this is for the ingredients block. All right, are you ready for one more? So today we're going to do the rolling pin, and I have a little change to this one, but let me go over what we need. So for the rolling pin, we are going to start with a big piece of background fabric. It's 10.5 by 6.5, and it is this yellow with flowers on it. And I did back mine with fusible stabilizer, but then I started thinking, I'm not sure that I like this one personally for this block, because the other parts that go with it are, I want a little bit more contrast personally. And so I think if I can get it, I'm going to go grab another piece of fabric. I'm looking for like a teal color. I think that would be really pretty with the other things that are in this project. So either way, whatever fabric you choose, you're going to want 10.5 by 6.5. And if I'm able to make it work to get the one that I'm thinking of, then I'll add that information when I get it. So anyway, 10.5 by 6.5 for your background fabric for the rolling pin block. And then we have two other pieces. So the embroidery leather, this is for the handles. This is so pretty. Oh my goodness. It's got like this. Look, can you see that, the design on it? That's really cool. And then the back is this soft on the back of the embroidery leather. I really like this. So these are for the handles of the rolling pin, and these are each 2.5 by 2.5. We need two pieces, one for each of the rolling pin handles, 2.5 by 2.5. And it's leather. Don't back it with anything. It's already backed with something soft. Looks like felt. I'm not sure, but anyway, soft. All right, and then for the roller itself, we have this really pretty cork. Isn't that beautiful? I love this. That is fun. I wonder if there's a pink cork. That would be fun. Anyway, so embroidery cork, we're going to start with this at 5.5 by 2.5, 5.5 by 2.5, and this will be the actual rolling pin. All right, 5.5 by 2.5 of the cork. Don't back cork with anything, leave it as is. All right, and then we are going to have a little bit of special cut instructions, but our final cut size of this, I don't have it written down. It must be 4.5 by 8.5. It's got to be 4.5 by 8.5. So our batting is going to be 5 by 9, right? I'm doing all this in my head. 5 by 9 for our batting. I could just measure it real quick here. Yep, 5 by 9 for your batting. 5 by 9 for your batting. And then we are going to quilt this with Hobby 5. That's that really fun one with the measuring cups and the different baking supplies. There's also a rolling pin on there. That'll be really cute. So we are going to use Hobby 5 in 4 by 8 for this rolling pin block. 4 by 8 Hobby 5. All right, and those are the three I'm hoping to get all into one hooping. We'll see how that goes. So anyway, let's get stitching. Well, let's head over to the computer first. I got to figure out how I'm going to do this first. Hey everyone, so I'm at my computer now, and I am going to group 3 blocks together and show you how I'm going to do that if you choose to. You can absolutely do these individually, or you can do a couple together instead of 3. It's totally up to you, but I'm just going to give you some options here. So I'm going to open up Embellishment Essentials, and it is opening to my 10 by 16 hoop. I can see that down here, and actually I'm going to keep that. I think that we probably will need that. So I'm going to do this in order. Let's see here. So I'm going to go to H for hoop just to make sure I'm zoomed into my entire hoop, and I'm going to go to merge stitch file, and I'm going to start with our 4 square block, and it's basically the same way that I did the 6 square block, and I'll just quickly walk you through that. So if we go to the quilting bundle right there, that's funny, it popped up this design that I downloaded earlier. All right, so I'm going to just open up Hobby 5. It actually doesn't matter what design that you choose. I'm opening a 4x4 design, and any 4x4 design will work for what we're going to do. All right, so here's a 4x4 in Hobby 5. I'm going to double click on that. It goes to the center, and I'm going to go ahead and move it all the way up here. And as I mentioned on other videos, you can use your arrow keys on your keyboard, or you can use your mouse, whatever is easiest for you. All right, and I'm just going to bring it all the way up just to give myself as much room. And then I'm moving it over so that these black squares are on the center line here, which actually doesn't matter, but OCD will make it work. All right, so just like before when we did the 6 square block, we don't need all of these parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this first one. This is the placement of our batting, and I do want to utilize that one and the tack down of the batting. But this, let's see, actually I'm going to use this one. This one is the placement for our main fabric. So I will put our 4 square block right in that spot. This 4th one, we don't need it because it's not going to catch anyway. This one will show us where to place the block, but this one, it actually will not be, the block will fit right in there, and so there's not going to be enough room for it to catch. You could keep it and bypass it like I did on the 6 square block. I'm just going to delete it. I'm not going to keep it. And then this one I definitely don't want to keep. This is the quilting design, and I'm going to do 4 different bitty blocks, so I definitely don't want this. I'm really just utilizing this design so that I can have my batting placement and tack down. All right, so that's all done. Now I'm going to bring in the 4 bitty blocks. So let's see, on piece 1, we're going to use bitty block pie 2. So I'm going to go to merge stitch file, and I am going to look for the bitty blocks right here at the last folder in the bundle pack. And then embroidery files, block by block, Pez, and I'm looking for pie 2 right there. Bitty block pie 2. Double click on that, and it goes to the center. I'm going to go ahead and bring it all the way up here, and I'm going to line up the placement of the batting right there, the inner square, with the placement of the batting on the one that we're saving there. Let's see if I click that. All right, so you can always zoom in, and there's an easy way to do it that I always seem to forget. Oh, I remember now, actually. That works too, though. I was going to say if you just move this around, then it will go to the spot that you want to see. So actually I'm going to do that on the this 4 block. All right, so then you can see how well that you have it on that placement stitch. I'm down just a tiny bit. I'm going to go ahead and move it up a bit, just a tiny bit. All right, so like I said, I'm lining it up with the placement stitch. So this outer one is always the main fabric stitch, but this inner one is the batting stitch. So I'm just lining up the batting, which again, this is the inner, this is the outer. So I'm lining up this inner stitch with the inner stitch of the 4x4 design. All right, and then I'm going to go over here, and just like we did on the 4 square block, I'm going to keep the first one for placement purposes, and then 2, 3, and 4, we don't need any of those. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight all 3. So 2, 2, 2, 3, and 2, 4, and I'm going to click delete on my keyboard. And then I just have the placement for the batting, which we're not going to use, but I'm just using it for now, and then the quilting design. All right, so now that's the first one, and that one's all done. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the next one, which is pie 3. So I'm going to go back to that folder we were in before, the bitty blocks, and pie 3 right there. Double click on that. It will go to the center, which now we can't see because we're so zoomed in on the entire box, the entire hoop right there. So I'm going to go ahead and take this and drag it up, and lining up the placement of the batting with the placement of the batting on the 4x4. And then again, I can zoom in. I'm just going to bring this here, and then you just hit the mouse key, the scroll button on your mouse key to be able to zoom in or out. All right, and then I can just move it over. There we go. All right, so placement of the 2x2 with the placement of the 4x4 right here. All right, and then I don't need 2, 3, and 4 just like before. So I'm going to click on 2, 3, and 4 and click delete on my keyboard. And then I have the number 1 placement for the batting and the quilting design. All right, and I'm going to zoom back out to the hoop. All right, and then the last two are using Hobby 5. So I'm going to go to Merge Stitch File. Pez, oh not Pez, sorry, we're going to go to Hobby 5 now. Get out of the Bitty Block folder. And here is Hobby 5, Embroidery Files, Block by Block, Pez, and we're looking for the 2x2 right there. Oh, that's cute. All right, Hobby 5, 2x2, and we're going to use that on number 2 and number 3. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this over, lining it up as best as I can, and then I'll zoom in. I'm going to zoom in a lot. All right, so it looks pretty good actually. Yep. So you're just lining it up with the placement stitch. All right, and then I am going to go ahead and delete 2, 3, and 4 just like before. And then what I'm going to do is, instead of importing the next one, I'm just going to bring in this again. I'm going to say Control C on my keyboard and Control V to paste. It goes right on top, and then I can just click on the stitching and move it over to this right hand corner. All right, so we have the 4 bitty blocks for the 4 square block. That one is, well actually it's not done because we have to take out all, we don't want these to stitch. So make sure to take out these placement stitches for the batting. This first one on the 4x4 right here, we're going to keep that, of course. We definitely want to utilize that to have our batting, but for all of these, we don't want it. It's just extra. So we're going to go ahead and click on the first one of 2, 3, 4, and 5 right here, 2, 1. I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and then open up number 3, click on default 1 blue and click delete. Number 4, default 1 blue, delete, and the last one, number 5, default 1 blue, delete. All right, so then we have we know that they're all lined up perfectly. That worked out extremely well. And let me see here. So 1, 2, and 3, these are off. My mistake. I made a mistake. I'm going to click undo just so that I can get those squares back. All right, and then I made a mistake. This is supposed to be, I was thinking how weird that they would have these 2 down here, but I have them in the wrong spot. So on this one, I'm going to go ahead and just move it out of the way here. And this must be 4, pie piece 4. Yep, pie piece 3 will go in number 4. So I'm just going to move this down to that orange box. That was my mistake. Perfect. And then this one up here. All right, that's much better. So we already deleted the placement for this one. That's why it's orange and not blue, but we're going to go back and delete those. I just added them so that I could get them arranged in the right place. So it's block 1, piece 1. So piece 1 here is the pie 2, and then let's see, 2 and 3. So 2 and 3 are Hobby 5, and then on piece 4 it's that pie 3. How confusing is that? But this is how it should look. All right, so I'm going to go back and get rid of those default 1 blues. So 3, 1 right here, get rid of that. And on 4, 1, delete, and 5, 1, delete. All right, so that's how it will look. We've got that perfect. That's great. I can go ahead and close these. So we'll do the batting first. That's what this orange line is, and the placement and tack down, and then we'll jump right into the bitty blocks after we put down that 4 square block fabric that we have. All right, so that's the first one. That was very easy. Hello, Archie. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the second one, which is the ingredients block. So the ingredients block uses weave 1 in 4x6. So I'm going to go to merge stitch file, and I am going to bring in weave 1. Right there, embroidery files, Pez, and it populates with the designs in there. All right, so 4x6 in weave 1 down here, right there, 4x6 weave 1. Double click on that, and it goes to the center. Now I'm going to rotate this to make everything fit. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to click this rotate left button here, rotate 90 degrees. There we go. Okay. Now, since that's in the middle, I'm going to utilize this. Actually, this will work out really well because we're going to have to do that on the other one too, now that I think about it. All right, so this first one on, this is for the ingredients block now. So this one we are going to bring in the ingredients design. So I'm going to go to merge stitch file. And I'm going to go to Sweet as Pie, Bench Pillow, Embroidery Files, Pez. All right, and I'm looking for the ingredients design. Right there. All right, double click on that. And it goes to the center. I am going to rotate this. Right there. And it stays in the center, so that's perfect. So this block is actually already done. You know what we can do is we can group it. I'm going to group this. Actually, I don't want to group it yet because I want to be able to do the quilting. I want to group the quilting. So I'm going to leave this just like this for now. And we'll do what we did on the other one, so we'll get there. So let's put in the next one. So this is, we've got block 1 and block 2 done. I'm going to bring in, add in the next quilting design, which is Hobby 5 for the rolling pin. Hobby 5, embroidery files, block by block, as and I'm looking for 4x8. Double click on that and it goes to the center. I am going to rotate it. So I'm going to click on it. This is the quilting design. Rotate it left. And then before I move it, I am going to bring in the rolling pin design on top of it so that I can make sure that that is centered. So I'm going to go to merge stitch file, Sweet as Pie, and the designs, embroidery files, Pez. And I'm looking for the rolling pin. There it is. All right, double click on that. It goes to the center and I'm going to rotate it. I don't think it's highlighted, so I'm going to click on that and then rotate it. All right, so I'm going to close up the quilting designs. I'm going to close everything up for just a moment so I can see everything easily. Now I want to move the quilting design and the rolling pin, and so to do that I'm going to drag up from the bottom, and then I can make sure that I've got both designs highlighted and I don't have the other parts that are underneath that, because remember all the ingredients and the quilting, that's underneath all of these. So all I want are these top two to be able to move them, and then I can, they're not joined, they are highlighted, so then I can click anywhere and bring it down. All right, so those are lined up right. This is great. I have a couple minor changes to make. So one thing is that this does not need any extra room. This does need room, so I'm actually going to move this over. I can highlight it and click to make sure that I've got both. So you can see here I've got the design, I've got the quilting design, and I have the ingredients blocked together. You want to make sure that you have them both. That was the whole point of keeping it to the middle so that we could make sure it was lined up. So I'm just going to move it up. So however you want it to be. So these are great as far as the alignment. Now I want to be able to join the quilting designs so that I can just do that part one time and then I can focus on each block individually. So what I'm going to do is what we did before. This one is just the quilting, so I don't need to worry about that. But I'm going to go ahead and just copy all of it. I'm going to go ahead and drag so that I have everything highlighted. I'm going to say Control C and I'm going to create a new tab, File, New Page, and I'm going to hit Control V so everything is there. All right, and then on this first one, so we're on Untitled 2 now. If I go back to Untitled 1, I'm going to go ahead and make changes on the colors. So let's see, on this first one, I want all of these. I want these to be the same color so that they all will join. I'm not worried about those at all. So those can all stay default 17 turquoise as long as I don't have default 17 turquoise somewhere else. So these four, I'm going to just keep this. And I am going to, I think I can keep, no, I can't keep these two because these will join. So we want to definitely change this one. So let's see, I'm going to start on one of the others. Let's start on this last one. So one thing is that I'm going to bring in the rolling pin and the ingredients file from Untitled 2 here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete them on this one. So rolling pin number 9, I'm going to delete this, and then the ingredients, which is number 7, I'm going to delete that so that I just have the quilting. That makes it a lot easier to focus on what we're going to do. All right, so I'm just going to start from the bottom because that first one is pretty convoluted. I'm going to just make it easy. So just like we always do, we're going to join parts and then not, I don't want to join my quilting on these two. I do want to on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the first color I'm on Hobby 5. This is number 7. And I'm going to click on the color and I'm going to choose Dark Aqua. And then number 2, I'm going to click Blaze and say OK. And then the third one, this is the placement for the main fabric. I'm going to click Marine. And then for default to orange on 7-4, I'm going to click Oriole because we already used Blaze. All right, and then this one I want a different color than what is going to be up here. So I'm going to click on the color and I'm going to choose Sprout. Okay, so that one is done. Now number 6, there we are. So we're on Weave 1 now, so this middle one. And I'm going to use the same colors that I used before. So these are the usual colors that we usually do. So Dark Aqua for the first one, that's the placement of the batting. And for number 2, the tack down of the batting, we use Blaze. And then for number 3, the placement of the main fabric, I'm going to use Marine. And for orange, it will be Oriole. And then here I want to pick a color that's different so that it will not join. We used Sprout, so I'm going to use Sea Green. All right, so number 6 is done. Then number 5, all right, these are all of those individual pieces, and I'm fine with those joining. I'd prefer those to join. If you wanted to use a different thread color on each one, then you would have to change the color here so that they don't join, but I do want mine to join. So let's make sure, yep, we're on turquoise, so they all should be turquoise, that's fine. So then I just need to change the main, this first one, so that it will join with 6 and 7. So I'm going to open up this, and then the first one is that placement stitch for the batting, so I'm going to change this to be Dark Aqua like we did on the others. And then number 2 is Blaze. And then this number 3, that's the placement for the main fabric, which will be our 4 square block, and we're going to use Marine for that. Okay, so this is all great. So we currently have 17 colors. We should be able to change that a lot. So let's go ahead and do a utility color sort. reduced it by 7, click New View, so we're on Untitled 3 now, and then we'll just quickly check it. So placement for the batting, placement for, or tack down of the batting, placement for the main fabric, and then we start right into the quilting design. So actually I'm going to move that. Yep, I'm going to bring this up. So this Oriole here, I'm going to bring this up so that it does all of the quilting all together, rather than these two being separated, because right now it would have the fabric on there and not tacked down, and it would be in the way. So I'm just going to move it up. So an easy way, I think, if I right click on this, no, I think that would bring everything up. Let's check it. Move earlier. Oh, it just brought it up one, so that's perfect. All right, so then we have the placement of the main fabric and the tack down of the main fabric. Because remember, we don't have a tack down for this one because we don't need it. It won't go out enough. The fabric doesn't go out enough to be able to tack it down. And then it'll run the quilting, and the quilting. So that's perfect. Okay, so that one is great. And then we want to bring in those extra designs, the rolling pin and the ingredients that we saved over here. So I am going to just copy, let's see, I think we can just delete. I'm going to go ahead and delete number 8 because we have it in the other one. So I'm going to click delete and delete on, this is number 6 for the weave 1. All right, and this we don't need. So actually I'm just going to copy and paste these two. So number 6 and number 7, it's the ingredients design and the rolling pin design. And I'm going to say Control C, and then I'm going to bring it over to Untitled 3 and hit Control V. And it should, did I not do it right? Control C, and then we go to Untitled 3, click Control V. There we go, perfect. All right, so you can see that then it is recentered. It's back where it originally was. So we'll do all of the quilting designs right there, all in number 1. And then it will jump into the ingredients design and then into the rolling pin designs. All right, so that's great, easy, a little brain activity late at night, but it worked out great. So I'm going to go ahead and do a file, save stitch file as, and I'm going to save this as 4 square, ingrid, and roll. That's what I'm naming mine. You name whatever works for you, but I've got 4 square ingrid roll. And that's how I'm going to save mine. And I'm saving it in the folder that has all my other Sweetest Pie designs, so that will be easy. And then I'm going to go ahead and send it to my machine so I can get started. File sent to machine. All right, so let's get stitching. and gratitude for today. Oh my goodness, my grandkids are coming in just a few days. That's why I'm jamming through these blocks as quick as I possibly can. I'm so excited. My house is not prepared, but I'm really excited. I am not going to do anything with Cristin Creates while they're here. I am going to play video games and bake stuff and just make messes and have fun. I'm very excited. 6 of my grandchildren are coming. I have 7 grandkids total. 6 of them are coming, and 2 of my children, I have 3 children, 2 of them are able to come. I can't wait. I'm so excited. That's my gratitude list today for sure. And my shirt today is a cute little snowman because it's freezing here in Idaho. But anyway, it says Merry and Cold. I added bling to it and added the wording myself. The design, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I will add information underneath this video for this cute snowman design.